It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can.
On the left hand, it starts with an E flat, to an A flat, to a B flat, to an A flat, and then back to E flat. And then on the right hand, it's arpeggios of the chords you're playing. So for the E flat, this is in version 1. And then to the A flat, all together. This is B flat major add 9. This is the add 9. Back to the A flat, but an octave lower from here. And then to the E flat, but you do an octave on the left, and then an E flat on the right. So then all together, full speed. So now for the left hand, you play the octave here, the E flat, and then the fourth note. In this case, A flat. Then you go down to D. Again, play the fourth. This is the G. Then on the right hand, you're playing an E flat arpeggio. Then to a C minor. So E flat, C minor. Then it goes down to B flat, to G. So then all together. And notice how you kind of land on and stick on the top note. So that one's held longer. And then the rest are just eighth notes. So again, notice that here. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. And then it goes into the second part. Use the third finger here, so you're able to hit the G with your thumb. And again, use the third finger for the G, so you're able to hit the high C with your pinky. And then all together. Walk it down. Except for the A, you hit it twice. Now use your fourth finger to hit the A flat. So you're able to just use your again for the G. That stays the same. So I'm going to show that again. Use the third finger again for the C. Then together. Walk it down. Play this one twice. Fourth. Now the B. So this is the second part of it, where on the left hand you're using an E flat octave. Play that again together. A flat on the top. Now just single notes, but keep the A flat. To B flat. Use the third finger on the F, so that way you're able to transition out of it. I'll show you. Now you're using the fourth finger on the F, so you can go into the E flat major. So I'll show that again. And then you're able to restart that sequence again, because you have to repeat it. So this section starts off from the end of part 1. So at the end of part 1, it sounded like this. But here, instead of going to the B flat, this is where it changes and it starts. You go back to the E flat and you play an octave. And at this point, you play an E flat chord, then you play an A flat major chord, then a B flat major chord, to a C minor chord. And I'm going to show you how that sounds. On the left hand, it's long D, half note for a D, and then a half note C. And on the right hand, it's that same rhythm, holding on the high note, holding on the top note, holding on the top note again, and then down to the C. So that same rhythm. And then when you put it together, you're hitting the high note and the octave at the same time. So I'll show you. Together, then hit it together. Now the E flat stays the same, and the right hand goes to the A flat major. See it? The top note hits at the same time as the left hand. And then at the same time. But the left hand stays down because you're playing half a note, and then to the C. And so full speed, it sounds like this. And I'll just play it one more time for you. Next up, it's an F minor to an A flat major, B flat major, C minor. Notice how the B flat major and then to the C minor, that's exactly the same. So that you already know. Now the F minor to the A major, A flat major is kind of interesting. So on the left hand, it walks up. And half note D, half note C. And then on the right hand, it's that same rhythm. And then together it sounds like this. Just note that when you're playing the B flat here, use your second finger on the F, because that's going to make it really easy to transition to the C minor. So. That way your pinky is going to be able to reach that high C. So I'm going to play it all together again, full speed. Now your thumb is already here, and so now you're just going to be playing a C minor over and over again, and your left hand is going to be walking down, similar to part 1, except you're not going to have this high C like before, and it sounds like this. So slow. On the left hand, it's just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then a chord. This is F minor 7. And then the right hand, it's a really simple arpeggio with that same rhythm of holding on the top note. And then to play the F minor 7, you want to use the second finger on the E flat, and then the third finger on the F, and the fourth finger on the A flat. And the reason being is when you're doing your next chord, it just transitions really smoothly to this and these next two chords. So all together, this next sequence is. Then you play 3 half notes. E flat major, F minor 7, A flat major. And then a turnaround, and at the end of the turnaround, we go back to the beginning of part 1. So I'm just going to show you that last sequence one more time. Restart part 1, and you do everything, and then I'm going to show you the coda, and that's where it finally ends. So the coda starts off at the end of part 2. You repeat all of part 1, you repeat half of part 2, and when you get to this section, and you would normally go into the C minor, instead of going to that C minor, that's when you cut to the coda. So back to the F minor. Now this is where the coda starts. left hand, you're just playing 2 notes for each chord. Holding the first one. And then on the right hand, you're just repeating the same C minor with the high C. And then together it sounds like this. And this is where you start those long chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's the same sequence as before with the B flat turnaround. And then you repeat the first part of the coda. Half chords. Now the last part of the song, on the left hand, you're just playing an octave over and over again of the E flat. And then on the right hand, you're just playing arpeggios with the same rhythm as before. And when you get to the high note, it's when they land together. And then on the bottom as well.